slumber. They already know, so no need to wonder. It's up for the win, 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 win. We fight for the win, 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 win. Hey, look, it's up for the win, 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 win. Yeah, look, we fight till we win, 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 win.
What I want to achieve for myself. That's what I want to achieve for y'all. I want to be the best tackler I can be.
Just wanted to be maybe the first to tell you you are no longer a Sooner. You're a Dallas Cowboy.
Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, the first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. He is really hungry to get to work here in Dallas. The Cowboys continuing their tradition of drafting very well, picking up some nice additions, including Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Welcome into Draft Day Insider. Day 3 is underway. Nicole Hutchison here, Mickey Spagnola. Mickey, obviously, we got to start with this offensive line pick, right? Tyler Guyton, a huge addition for this offensive line. I mean, how much do you feel that he would be a good fit for this room?
Well, I thought the Cowboys did a really good job with that first pick. Now, you're at 24, so you're at the mercy of what everybody else does ahead of you. And Jerry Jones had told me before the draft that there was an 80% chance that they were going to trade down. And certainly they were able to pull that trade off. And Nicole, if you were watching the War Room, they got it done with about 50 seconds left on the 10-minute clock. They had a bunch of opportunities to make trades. They ended up getting a third-round pick, so they got the extra pick. That was one of the goals. The other goal was to get the best offensive lineman they could at that point. And if you look at how the draft went in the first round, 7 offensive linemen went before him. So they were running out of offensive tackles. They didn't want to wait, and so they took Guyton, a huge man, by the way, 6'8", 322, and he's every bit of that, right? Yes. And he's a right tackle at Oklahoma. He's going to have to make the switch to left tackle. He thinks he can do it. And I think the good thing is when he was at Oklahoma playing right tackle, he was protecting the quarterback's blind side because they had a left-handed quarterback. So now he's going to be on the blind side of Dak, and they're certainly counting on him to be ready to go right from the start. He doesn't have a lot of experience playing football, so this guy has a lot of room to grow, and I think they're counting on that also.
Yeah, he told me today when I got a chance to get on the bus with him and pick him up from the airport that he finally got added to the offense group chat, so he was also talking to Dak as well. Like I mentioned, I spent the day with him, and he is nothing but a great guy, and it was a one for the books.
Being selected by the Cowboys is something I've always dreamed of, and for it to finally become true is everything to me.
Obviously, your family, diehard Cowboys fans. What does this mean for them to see you about to be rocking that star in your helmet?
This means everything. Like, there's no better way it could have played out. Too straight, bro. Come on, though, man. Stop crying, dog. Thank you. Sure.
That was just the warehouse, man.
Bro, that's
just
crazy.
the warehouse, buddy. Lace your boots up, man.
I'll go with my heart and my mind. I really love football deep down to the core, and I have a mentality of trying to dominate, and that's what I'm bringing to Dallas. We at the star, baby. Oh my God, man. We here, man.
Welcome to Dallas.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
How you feeling?
Amazing, bro. Dreams come true. Real life. Oh my God. Keep getting more and more real. I'm right next to Steele and Zach Martin. Yeah. What the? Feels amazing. Seeing my locker in there was a moment I'd never forget. Honestly, I'm a Dallas Cowboy, and I believe it now. I realize it. My dad has my jersey on, and couldn't be better.
Jerry Jones had mentioned earlier in the press conference that one of the PR members had said that they'd never seen anyone so emotionally connected to the Cowboys and so excited to work. So I'm looking forward to what he brings. The Cowboys have addressed the offensive line position. They've also found a new pass rusher. What can he bring to this defensive side of the ball? We're breaking that down up next.
The Dallas Cowboys Draft Day Insider is brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first-round draft pick for John Deere equipment. And by Dr. Pepper. Raise your Dr. Pepper glass to America's team. It's a pepper thing. This segment is brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first-round draft pick for John Deere equipment.
Just when you thought you knew what Dallas would do in round 2, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, they all kept you on your toes. And the Cowboys take a defensive end in the second round. Marshon Kneeland out of Western Michigan at 56 overall. Welcome back into Draft Day Insider Nicole, Hutchison, Mickey Spagnola. And now, Mickey, we heard from Jerry Jones and Will McClay of how much he resembles DeMarcus Lawrence in the way that he plays with his high motor. He's so violent, and it's just that extra effort that he plays with. How much do you see D-Law in Marshon Kneeland?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that because after they drafted him, and I was kind of looking up his stuff, and I saw where one person actually had him on, and a guy I respect had him on his big board at number 32. Wow. So, you know, they got him at number 56. And I'm reading about it, the things he does, and I said, you know what? He kind of reminds me of DeMarcus Lawrence before anybody had brought it up. And then when you saw him on tape, he's got this high motor, and he will play the run. It's not all about the pass rush, and I think the Cowboys have struggled with some of that over the years where the defensive ends have it in their mind, I got to go get the quarterback. Well, you better stop the run too, and I think if you look at his numbers, he did a very good job of stopping the run. And don't let playing at Western Michigan discourage you, because I think this guy can play, and I think he's one of those guys that if he can stop the run, he's going to find himself a way on the field.
One of my notes on him is that he comes in at 267, a little bit on the smaller side. Do you have any concern with that at all?
No, because if you look at what DeMarcus Lawrence is playing at now, I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence is even 270. So, no, not at all. If you know how to play technique and use your hands, you can play the run. And a lot of his highlight tape is from chasing guys down from behind. So keep an eye on this guy. I think he can play, and I think he will help them a lot.
Now, his versatility is also something that attracted him. He can kind of play inside a little bit as well. How much fun are you just looking forward to seeing him in that versatility, bringing that to that defensive line?
I think it's going to be some good competition there, because let's not dismiss Sam Williams potentially earning a starting spot there, but you need a rotation there. And after they lost Dorrance Armstrong, you know, the depth on defensive end, Fowler Jr. left also. And so they need some help there. And so there's a spot for this guy to play. Now he's just got to come in and prove that, you know, he needs to be able to get on the field.
With what's in that room right now, is this enough in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I don't know that when you go forward later today, that, you know, what you're going to find in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. They'll keep their eye on things. You never know in free agency you know, after the draft when teams start looking at their roster and they go, well, you know what, I just don't know if I need this guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they kind of found Dante Fowler Jr. in the first place. So I think from a defensive end spot, I think they've got some versatility there. But you keep looking. You never know what you find in the 5th round.
Yeah, for certain. Well, I know Will McClay is very high on this guy, Marshon Kneeland out of Western Michigan. He said that he has the traits, the physical traits to play at the NFL level and the talent. So looking forward to what he brings as well. But another guy who has the traits and the talent to play at this level is Cooper Beebe. We have a lot going on. We're going to talk about that. Is he a center, though, or is he a guard? We'll be talking that up next.
This segment was brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first-round draft pick for John Deere equipment.
With the 73rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cowboys select Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State. Welcome back into Draft Day Insider Nicole Hutchison and Mickey Spagnola, who actually have a chance to reunite with his former teammate Deuce Vaughn, who played at Kansas State with him. It's obviously going to be very exciting for them to play together. But the biggest question, though, they have him listed as a guard. They also have him that he could play all 5 positions on the offensive line. But Mickey, I got to ask you, is he a guard or is he a center? Which one?
I think they want him to be a center. Now, he was a guard at K-State, an awfully good one. He's played multiple positions. As a matter of fact, in a couple games, he actually got in and played defensive tackle. The guy also played on special teams and went down on kickoff coverage. So this is a very versatile athlete that I think people are gonna love him once they get to see him. Now, this is a guy that he doesn't mess around when he's on the line. He calls knockdowns like we call knockdowns. He calls them dirt, meaning I put people in the dirt. And if you watch his highlights, it's almost like he gets to the first guy, takes care of him, gets to the second guy, and it's like, okay, I'm done with you. I'm just going to push you to the ground. And he just knocks guys down. So I think what we have to understand here about Cooper Beebe, not only his versatility, right, and a really sharp guy. So when you're playing center, you got to be able to read the defenses, right? He's reading the defense, he said, when he was at K-State at the guard position. And so that bodes well for making the transition to center. We're talking about a guy that's got to step in. They've got to find a replacement for Tyler Biadasz. Now, they're just not going to give him the job, right? Brock Hoffman, there'll be some competition. Believe me, there'll be some competition. But Nicole, one of the things that I think everybody needs to understand is this is where the trade down took place, right? So when the Cowboys traded in the first round from 24 to 29, they had 4 guys that they would have been very happy with getting. Well, there were 5 spots to go, so they kind of had to hold their breath. And after being here all this time with the Joneses, they love high wire acts. Like, okay, we're going to take this chance, but we think we can get one of these 4 guys. Well, after they did that, all of a sudden, 3 of them went off the board. Boom, 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 right? And they're sitting there going, oh no. But thank goodness for them that, you know, not only was Guyton there, but they were able to turn the 3rd round pick into Cooper Beebe. And I think that you got 2 starters at the sacrifice in one. They could have had 1 guy at 24, right? But they, Graham Barton, but they got 2. And Cooper Beebe, and I had always said, for this trade down to work, you got to hit on the 3rd round pick that they got in the trade down. And I think just looking at what they got, I think Cooper Beebe can play this game.
Yeah, they certainly hit. He was actually projected a late 2nd round pick, so definitely got a bang for their buck. What attracts you the most out of all the things that he does well? What attracts you the most on film?
I think just because he's so physical, and a lot of times, you know, offensive linemen, they're catching. Yeah. This guy doesn't catch; he attacks. He's like a bulldog out there. And I certainly like that, especially at the center position. And, you know, he may have some problems with guys that are big that line up, head up on him, but I think he's savvy enough to be able to take on those challenges, sort of like Tyler Biotish did.
Yeah, that's something that they compared him as well, has that nastiness that Tyler Biotish brings. The Cowboys addressing one need at a time, one piece at a time. How about another linebacker, right? How well does he fit in Mike Zimmer's defense? We'll be breaking that down up next. Welcome back into Draft Day Insider. Nicole Hutchison, Mickey Spagnola, and the Cowboys addressing the linebacker position, adding Maris Liufo out of Notre Dame with the 87th pick overall. Now the Cowboys obviously adding that depth to that room. How big was that at that time?
You know, they thought it was big because they were getting potential offers to trade down. And when they looked at the players that they had, they decided that, hey, we're just going to sit here and take these guys. We really like them. They know they didn't have a fourth-round pick. So they end up with a linebacker. And we're talking a guy that's pretty versatile. He can be a pass rusher. So he's more of a strong side linebacker than a weak side linebacker, although he does have some skills to drop into coverage. But he was a very diligent player at Notre Dame. A guy that looks like he loves to play football, so we'll start there. And as for his athletic ability, I think that they first look at him also as a special teams guy. Now, he'll compete for a starting job, obviously. They do have Damone Clark that can play on the strong side with Eric Kendricks in the middle. And then we'll figure out what they do on the weak side if it's Parsons or DeMarvion Overshone wins a starting job. But this guy is a willing special teams player. He said at Notre Dame he played all 4 special teams during his career, though. So he understands that for him to get on the field early here in his NFL career, it's going to be through special teams to start with. And I'm not saying they drafted a special teams player, but he has the ability to do it. And Nicole, it's very important now to have linebackers on this team that are active on game day because of the new kickoff rule where guys aren't running downfield 40 yards to make a tackle. There's 10 yards between where the two front lines stack up. And so you need linebackers that can shed blocks and get to the ball carry in a condensed field. And so I think that he would fit in there very well.
Yeah, and as far as that linebacker room, though, what will he bring as far as competition-wise?
Yeah, I think that, you know, Eric Kendricks is probably your middle linebacker. Damone Clark, who kind of was in the middle, probably more fit for the strong side, so he'll be competing there. They got to take care of the weak side, and we'll see what Mike Zimmer decides. Is Micah Parsons a linebacker and then a pass rusher on third downs, or is he defensive end? If he's a defensive end, then they need more linebackers. DeMarvion Overshone, they're very confident and he's going to return good as new after his ACL repair, and he should be ready to go for training camp. So it's good to have some competition in that linebacker room, and I think that you know, he provides it, and it'll be interesting to see how Mike Zimmer handles the linebacker room, especially what they decide to do with Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and in day 3, they have about 75 to 76 players who will obviously picks before they have their next pick to decide. So hopefully we'll see how that whole deciding of drafting pans out. But for now, we've got running backs to talk about. Will the Cowboys address that position room in day 3? We'll be talking about that right up next.
The Dallas Cowboys Draft Day Insider was brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your first-round draft pick for John Deere equipment, And by Dr. Pepper. Raise your Dr. Pepper glass to America's team. It's a Pepper thing.
2 days down, one more to go. We are in day 3 of the 2024 NFL Draft. Welcome back into Draft Day Insider. Nicole, Hutchison, Mickey Spagnola. Now, gotta ask this last question. How will the Dallas Cowboys target a running back today?
Yeah, I think if they do a running back on the final day of the draft, they're going to have to compare the guy I'm taking. Is he better, or does he have a chance to be better than what I have in the room? So I think that always has something to do with the decision. They probably would have taken a running back in the second round, Jonathan Brooks, if he was there. They were at 56. He went off the board at 46. So that took care of, I think, the running back that they were looking at. So we'll see what they do. But, you know, Jerry Jones is talking openly about the possibility of bringing back Ezekiel Elliott. They met with him and his representative early in the week. And when asked after the draft last night, he was asked, do you think that, you know, Zeke can start in the NFL? And he says, I think he could start for the Dallas Cowboys. So even if he doesn't start, he can play.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see how that works out going forward.
It'll kind of be like that song Reunited, and it feels so good,
Well,
right?
they should have reunited last year.
Well, hopefully we get a chance to see that. The Cowboys feeling good heading into day 3. We'll see if they continue it, head into the draft. We'll see you at the draft show.